The Dyatlov Pass Incident remains one of history's most eerie, unsolved mysteries. In 1959, 9 experienced hikers ventured into the Ural Mountains of the Soviet Union, only to meet a chilling and unexplained end. What happened on that frozen mountainside? On January 23, 1959, 10 eager hikers from the Ural Polytechnic Institute set off from Sverdlovsk on what they anticipated would be an exhilarating adventure. Their destination, the remote and rugged slopes of the Ural Mountains, aiming to reach the summit of Otorten. These hikers were highly experienced in ski tours and mountain expeditions, led by Igor Dyatlov. The group was a mix of students and graduates, each bringing unique skills and energy to the journey. The expedition was not just for adventure, but also to achieve the Grade 3 hiking certification, the highest in the Soviet Union, requiring them to traverse 300 kilometers. Their journey began with a train ride from Sverdlovsk to Ivdel, a small town on the edge of the wilderness. From there, they traveled by truck to the village of Vizhai, the last inhabited settlement before their trek into the mountains. The group spent the night in Vizhai, checking their equipment and preparing for the grueling days ahead. However, shortly into their tour on January 25th, one member, Yuri Udin, turned back early due to severe sciatic nerve pain, which affected his leg and lower back, a decision that ultimately saved his life. On January 27th, they set off on skis, heading north towards Gora Otorten. The initial part of their journey took them through dense forests where they followed the Ospia River. The conditions were harsh, with deep snow and freezing temperatures. Despite the challenges, the hikers maintained a positive attitude, documenting their progress in diaries and photos. Zinaida Kolmogorova wrote in her diary about the camaraderie among the group and the beauty of the snowy landscape. Lyudmila Dubinina noted the difficulties they faced, such as deep snow and exhaustion, but also expressed her excitement for the adventure. On January 31st, the group reached the edge of the forest and began their ascent towards the pass. They cached surplus food and equipment in a wooded area to lighten their loads for the climb. This cache would serve as a resupply point for their return journey. As they ascended, the terrain became increasingly treacherous, with steep slopes and strong winds. The group forged ahead, determined to reach their destination. On February 1st, they pitched their tent on the slopes of Kholat Syakhl, also known as Dead Mountain. It was an unusual choice for an experienced group, as the exposed location offered little protection from the elements, with temperatures plummeting below -40 degrees Fahrenheit. Some speculate they chose this spot to practice camping on a slope, or to make up for lost time. The hikers settled into their tent for the night, unaware of the horror that awaited them. They cooked dinner, chatted, and recorded their thoughts in their diaries. Little did they know these would be their last entries. When the group failed to send a telegram expected by February 12th, a search and rescue operation was launched. Initially, the search was led by volunteer students and teachers, but later military and police forces became involved. On February 26th, searchers discovered the group's abandoned tent. It was half buried in snow and had been slashed open from the inside. The hikers' belongings, including their clothes and shoes, were left behind as if they had fled in a state of panic. Footprints in the snow showed that the hikers had walked out of the tent into the freezing wilderness, some barefoot or wearing only socks. The tracks led down the slope towards the forest, where the first bodies were found. Yuri Doroshenko and Yuri Krivonishchenko were discovered near a cedar tree at the edge of the forest. They were in their underwear, suggesting they had fled the tent in a hurry. The remains of a small fire nearby indicated a desperate attempt to stay warm. Both had burns on their hands and feet, possibly from getting too close to the fire in their weakened state. Krivonishchenko had a piece of flesh in his mouth, likely bitten off from his hand in an attempt to stay conscious. Further up the slope, the bodies of Igor Dyatlov, Zinaida Kolmogorova, and Rustam Slobodin were found at varying distances from the cedar tree. Dyatlov was found with his arms around a birch tree branch, as if he had tried to climb it in his final moments. Slobodin's body showed a significant skull fracture, though the cause of this injury remains a mystery. The last 4 hikers were discovered 2 months later, buried under several feet of snow in a ravine 75 meters from the cedar tree. Lyudmila Dubinina, Semyon Zolotaryov, Alexander Kolevatov, and Nikolai Thibault-Brignoli had injuries that were far more severe than the others. Dubinina and Zolotaryov had major chest fractures, while Thibault-Brignol had a significant skull injury. Dubinina and Zolotaryov were also missing their eyes, and Dubinina was missing her tongue and part of her lips, raising further questions about what might have happened. Now, let's explore the theories that have been proposed over the decades, each trying to explain the inexplicable. Avalanche. One theory suggests an avalanche forced the hikers to leave their tent abruptly. The 2019 Russian investigation proposed that a slab avalanche might have struck the tent, leading the hikers to believe they were in imminent danger of being buried. They fled in a panic, some succumbing to hypothermia, and others sustaining fatal injuries in a subsequent snow cave collapse. In recent years, scientific investigations have continued to explore the slab avalanche theory. A significant contribution came from a study published in Nature in 2020, conducted by Johann Gaum and Alexander Puzrin. They used advanced modeling techniques to simulate the conditions on the night of the incident. They proposed that the hiker's tent, pitched on a slope with a buried weak layer of snow, could have triggered a delayed slab avalanche. Their findings suggest that the combination of the hikers cutting into the slope to set up their tent and the accumulation of additional snow due to strong winds could have caused a slab of snow to slide down, hitting the tent. This sudden impact likely caused the hikers to flee in panic, many without proper clothing or equipment, ultimately leading to their tragic deaths. This model accounts for the severe injuries found on some of the victims, akin to those seen in avalanche cases. However, critics argue there was no significant evidence of an avalanche at the site, such as debris or damaged trees. It also does not explain the missing eyes or tongues on some of the victims' bodies. Military tests. Some believe the hikers were victims of secret military tests, possibly involving parachute mines. These devices detonate mid-air and can cause severe internal injuries without leaving external marks. Reports of glowing orbs in the sky around the time of the incident support this theory. Additionally, some of the hikers' clothing was found to be radioactive, which might be linked to previous nuclear activities in the area. Yeti attack. A more outlandish theory is that the group was attacked by a Russian Yeti, an ape-like creature that towers above the average human. This theory, while lacking substantial evidence, stems from the severe and unusual injuries found on some of the bodies. Additionally, one blurry photo was taken by one of the students of what appears to be a supernaturally tall figure behind a tree. Paradoxical undressing and hypothermia. Another theory revolves around hypothermia-induced behavior. As the body succumbs to extreme cold, victims can experience paradoxical undressing, where they feel hot and begin removing their clothes. This could explain why some of the hikers were found partially undressed. The panic from hypothermia might have driven them to flee the tent into the freezing wilderness. Infrasound. Another theory suggests that infrasound created by the wind induced panic among the hikers. Infrasound refers to sound waves below 20 Hz, which are inaudible to humans. These waves are generated by natural sources like earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and certain weather patterns. At Dyatlov Pass, a unique combination of strong winds and topography over Kolatyakul could have produced the Kármán vortex street, generating infrasound waves. Though inaudible, infrasound can profoundly affect our bodies and minds, causing discomfort, anxiety, panic, nausea, and dizziness. This could have caused overwhelming fear and panic, driving the hikers to flee their tent. These effects result from low-frequency vibrations disrupting the inner ear and vestibular system. While the infrasound theory explains the sudden abandonment of the tent, it doesn't account for all the strange details, like severe injuries and missing body parts. Another theory suggests a violent encounter with local Mansi tribesmen or other hikers. The temptation to blame the death of the hikers on the local Mansi was too great. Several young Mansi hunters were arrested and interrogated in March 1959. Suspicions still linger about the Mansi's possible involvement. One book published in 2015 suggests that some Mansi hunters were high on the magic mushrooms used in shamanic rituals, and they went berserk when they found that the students had veered onto sacred Mansi land. However, there is no evidence of a struggle to support this theory, and the Mansi people have historically been peaceful and cooperative with outsiders. The Mansi are indigenous people of the Ural region, known for their deep connection with nature and their traditional way of life. They have coexisted with other communities for centuries without significant conflict. The lack of any signs of a fight and the absence of footprints other than those of the hikers further weakens this theory. The injuries sustained by the hikers were too severe and unusual to have been inflicted by human attackers. The forensic evidence points to forces far beyond what could be caused by a physical altercation with other people. One of the most controversial theories surrounding the Dyatlov Pass incident suggests extraterrestrial involvement. Eyewitnesses reported seeing mysterious lights in the sky, moving in ways that defied conventional aircraft capabilities. The hikers' severe internal trauma without corresponding external damage puzzled forensic experts, as it differed significantly from any typical human-inflicted wounds. Unusual radiation levels on some of the hikers' clothing added another layer of complexity to the case. Natural background radiation typically ranges from 0.1 to 0.2 microsieverts per hour, but the hikers' clothing showed levels as high as 500 to 600 microsieverts per hour. This anomaly adds to the theory. Could these sightings be evidence of extraterrestrial visitors? While no concrete evidence supports alien involvement, it remains one of the most intriguing and debated explanations. As we conclude our deep dive into the Dyatlov Pass incident, we turn our attention to the Soviet cover-up. After the discovery of the hikers' bodies, the official investigation concluded that they died due to an unknown compelling force. However, the case was quickly classified as secret, typical of the Soviet Union's approach to sensitive matters. Details were scarce, and the public was left with more questions than answers. Local journalists were barred from reporting on the incident, and the findings were archived as classified. This suppression of information led to widespread rumors and speculation. The secretive nature of the investigation led many to believe in a military cover-up. Some speculated that the hikers had stumbled upon a secret weapons test, leading to their deaths and the subsequent cover-up to prevent any leaks. With the fall of the Soviet Union, previously classified documents were slowly released, but they provided little new information. Instead, they confirmed suspicions of a cover-up, but did not clarify the exact events. This lack of closure has perpetuated the mystery, making it one of Russia's most controversial conspiracy theories. Despite numerous theories and extensive investigations, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the greatest mysteries of the modern era. The combination of harsh environmental conditions, unexplained injuries, and the hikers' inexplicable behavior continues to baffle experts and captivate the public. The site of the Dyatlov Pass incident has become a place of pilgrimage for those intrigued by the mystery and those who wish to honor the memory of the hikers who lost their lives. Their story is a poignant reminder of the power of nature. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that subscribe and like button. What do you believe happened to the Dyatlov group on that fateful night? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below.